Test, test, test. This is your coffee break. Test, test, test. It's Monday, October 19th, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, bringing you today's news, including an update on the teacher in Stratford accused of having sex with a student, a robbery suspect arrested in Shelton, and much more. Rob Adams will join us to bring you the latest on high school sports and weather, and Donald Ang will have a look back on this day in history. Also later in the show, Deborah Greenwood of the Center for Family Justice will talk to us about Domestic Violence Awareness Month and the resources available for area residents who are victims. But first, getting into the news today, in Bridgeport, a 28-year-old man found with multiple stab wounds in his chest, side, and stomach late Sunday night is the city's 14th homicide victim of the year. The man, who was not immediately identified, died shortly after arriving by ambulance at St. Vincent's Medical Center, police said. Police had been called to the corner of Goldenrod and Madison Avenues around 11 at night on what was originally reported as a shooting. According to police spokesman Kevin Coughlin, police are actively investigating the incident. Anyone with information regarding it should contact Detective Robert Winkler at 203-581-5224. In other news, A Stratford elementary school teacher accused of having a sexual relationship with a student has been fired by the superintendent of schools. Superintendent Janet Robinson said Friday that she has mailed a termination letter to Michelle Solzicki on Thursday. Solzicki, who's 28 years old and lives in Oxford, turned herself into Stratford police on Wednesday and was charged with first-degree sexual assault, illegal sexual contact with a minor, and risk of injury to a minor. The charges stem from Solzicki's alleged relationship with a male student, which took place over 3 years. Robinson said Friday that the contents of an arrest warrant were used as the grounds for termination. Solzicki was a teacher at Chapel Street School for about 3 years, but had been employed by Stratford Public Schools since 2010. She had previously been a teacher's aide. Solzicki said police said the department was contacted on September 24th by school officials about allegations of inappropriate conduct by an adult female with a juvenile. The information was later confirmed. Police say Solzicki began a sexual relationship with the male student about 3 years ago when the boy was 12 years old. He's now 15. Robinson said Wednesday that she was outraged and appalled at those disturbing allegations being made regarding the inappropriate conduct. Although they were in the same school at one time, Solzicki was not the boy's teacher, Robinson said. No impropriety between Solzicki and the student took place on school grounds, and it occurred after school hours. An affidavit on file at Bridgeport Superior Court indicated that encounters took place at the boy's home, where Solzicki tutored him. According to the affidavit, the boy said he and Solzicki had sex between 15 and 20 times over about 2 years. Solzicki told police detectives, according to the affidavit, that she and the boy only had sex once while the boy was in 6th grade, heading to the 7th grade. The Maya Murphy law firm is listed as Solzicki's attorney in court records. A person who answered the phone at the firm's office in Westport told the Stratford Star they had no comment. Shelton police have arrested a Derby man they say robbed a person in downtown Shelton on September 18th. On Friday, police arrested 30-year-old Jeffrey Carmen on a warrant for street robbery. In September, an employee from a downtown business was walking to their vehicle, which was parked in the Bridge Street parking lot, when they were approached by a black male who verbally demanded the victim to give him their wallet. The victim surrendered the wallet and the black male fled the area. A few days after the reported street robbery, Shelton police officers Eldridge and Officer Bailey were able to locate a black male matching the description provided by the victim. Through speaking with patrons from a local bar, officers were able to develop Carmen as a suspect. Based on detectives' follow-up investigation, an arrest warrant was applied for and issued to Carmen. He was given a $20,000 bond. Carmen was also processed on 2 outstanding failure to appear in court charges and failure to respond to an infraction. Well, according to the Associated Press, police are investigating a fatal shooting in the parking lot outside a Waterbury bar. Lieutenant Mike Slavin says a 23-year-old man died after being shot once in the abdomen at about 1:30 in the morning Sunday outside the Barleycorn Irish Cafe. The victim was taken to St. Mary's Hospital in Waterbury, where police said he died. His name was not made public. Police did say whether they had made any arrests. Police are appealing to the public for information about that shooting. And on Sunday, the Bridgeport Police Department announced the arrest of a suspect in a recent non-fatal shooting that injured a 23-year-old. On October 18th, around 5 in the morning, police officers executed a search warrant at the home of the wanted suspect. The search warrant was executed at a home on Beechwood Avenue near the corner of Park Ave. The suspect, 22-year-old Christopher Belcher, was not found at the location, police said, but officers recovered a firearm and numerous loaded magazines at his home. A short time later, Belcher turned himself in to awaiting detectives at police headquarters. He was charged with criminal attempt at murder and assault in the 1st degree. Bond was set at $1 million. Belcher was wanted in connection with a non-fatal shooting that happened October 9th near the corner of North Avenue and Wells Street. The victim, a 23-year-old male, suffered 2 gunshot wounds to the right side and 2 gunshot wounds to the right arm. Well, in Ridgefield, the newest cell tower has hit a slight delay in getting on air. Previous reports were that the tower would be broadcasting signals by October 3rd, but as of October 15th, it was still a couple of weeks off. Ray Vergati, site development manager of Homeland Towers, the Danbury-based company that built the cell tower, said final landscaping, including the planting of spruce trees, was delayed by hot and dry weather. The spruce trees needed cooler and wetter conditions in order to properly take root. Other than that, the site is waiting for its certificate of occupancy from the town of Ridgefield. The fire department must also set up its emergency equipment. AT&T is the only carrier on the tower at this point, but others are expected to follow in 2016 because weak signals in that part of town around Old Stagecoach Road are endemic to all the carriers. I'm going to throw it over to Rob Adams right now for a look at weather. Rob, we could have used that cell tower on Friday.
Yeah, we could use that cell tower really soon, Kate. In fact, we could have used it, around September 1st, but we're still a ways to go from all of that. But a beautiful day, at least as you look at it, Kate. It's not the nicest day temperature-wise, but it is seasonal. In fact, I saw your tweet earlier, and you're not wrong about that for sure, that 'tis the season. It's only going to get worse. You know, we've got a chance of some rain later on, though, a high near 61, chance of precipitation going up to about 70% with new precipitation. Excuse me, folks, now I see the problem. Okay, let's try this again. We had the right forecast pulled up, and then all of a sudden, it went and changed things on me, which is a little embarrassing. Okay, we'll try it all over again because I knew that forecast wasn't sounding right. Okay, sunny, high near 50. I feel much better. Calm wind becoming west 5 to 8 miles per hour. Partly cloudy, low 37. Partly sunny, high 63 for Tuesday. For Tuesday night, mostly cloudy, a low 44. Very cruel of these websites to do that to you. Partly sunny, high 68. Now, I don't know about you, but over the weekend, I started closing windows and shifting things around and thinking, you know, it's over. 68 on Wednesday, 49 Wednesday night, 66 for Thursday, and a high of 55 for Friday. Right now in Shelton, it's 38, Ridgefield 37, Darien has 43. I promise it's not raining. That was the forecast for Oregon. Kate, back to you.
All right, thanks, Rob. Good job. And I know when we come back, you're going to be talking a little bit more about why us having some good weather on Wednesday will be so important.
Absolutely true. I wonder if that will be a good or bad thing. We'll find out. We'll talk about it later.
We will. All right, so we are going to take a break. When we come back, Donald Dang is going to have a look back in history. Of course, Rob's going to bring us the latest on local sports, and we have a lot more news coming up on your coffee break after this.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Darien Sport Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sport Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
The fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait in the Long Island Sound. This is the time to visit the New England coast, and the Dock Shop can get you outfitted with the latest fishing gear, jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece. Boater, beach bum, fishermen simply love the New England coast. This is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
You are watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. 102,000 viewers have enjoyed the HAN Network in just the last 6 weeks. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network. You are what?
And we're back on this Monday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, and it is now time to throw it over to Donald Ang for a look back on this day in history. Don?
Well, Kate, it's a musical piece that you've probably heard hundreds of times, but I bet you don't know the words. In fact, you probably don't know they even exist. But before that, we go to 1864, the St. Albans Raid. You've probably read that Gettysburg was the Confederate high tide, the northernmost battle of the Civil War, but technically speaking, that's not actually true. A group of about 25 Confederate raiders launched an attack on St. Albans, Vermont on this day. The idea was to draw U.S. troops north away from the devastated southern farmlands, but the raid was too small in scale and too late in the war to have much effect. 1960, the U.S. government imposes a near total trade embargo against Cuba. That remains in effect today. The embargo covers all commodities except medical supplies and certain food products. 1983, another Civil War item, believe it or not, Congress approves a bill establishing a national holiday in honor of Martin Luther King. It was observed 3 years later. At first, some states resisted observing the holiday, giving it alternate names or combining it with other holidays. Most notably, Virginia declared the day Lee Jackson King Day, after Confederate heroes Robert E. Lee and Stonewall Jackson, before moving Jackson and Lee to the Friday before MLK Day in the year 2000. Alabama, Arkansas, and Mississippi continue to combine the holiday with Robert E. Lee's birthday. And finally, 1901 was the first time we heard this. That's Edward Elgar's Pomp and Circumstance March, premiered on this day, 1901. It consists of 5 movements, including the section called Land of Hope and Glory, which we in the U.S. know as simply Pomp and Circumstance, or the Graduation March. The lyrics: Land of hope and glory, mother of the free, how shall we extol thee who are born of thee? Wider still and wider shall thy bounds be set. God who made thee mighty, make thee mightier yet. God who made thee mighty, make thee mightier yet. I bet you didn't know there were lyrics to the song, but there are. That's your look back in history, and I'm Donald Ing.
All right, thanks so much, Don. Well, before we throw it over to Rob Adams for a look at high school sports, getting back to some news today. A New Canaan woman's property has been deemed a blight upon the neighborhood, and the town is giving her 2 weeks to improve conditions or face fines. A legal notice that ran in the October 8th issue of the New Canaan Advertiser announced that Michelle Bosshard of 198 West Hills Road was in violation of the New Canaan Blight Ordinance. Blight is defined in the New Canaan Ordinance as any condition or combination of conditions that are in public view upon any residential premises that tend to devalue real estate or that is a negative influence upon the neighborhood or upon any neighbor's use and enjoyment of his or her property. According to the legal notice issued by the Town of New Canaan Building Department, 2 examples of blight exist on the premises. One was that there's seriously damaged, missing, or loose siding, gutters, leaders, shingles, or roofing. And the second is unkempt yards or overgrown lawn grass or weeds. Bosshard had 14 days from the date of the notice of violation to abate or diminish all of the noted conditions of blight. Failure to abate the violations within the time frame will result in a citation and civil penalties of potentially $100 per day that the violations continue to exist. There's more on that story at ncadvertiser.com. Now Rob Adams joins us for the latest on high school sports. Rob?
Kate, good morning once again, everyone. Let's dive into high school sports as we get ready here. Kate, let's dive into high school sports as we look along on this Monday. You know, we start with Jesuit in Oregon. No, I'm only kidding. All right, I had to do it at least once. All right, let's look at really what went on from over the weekend. Volleyball, you had Fairfield Ward beating Stamford 3-2. Shannon McCartney had 11 service points, 4 aces, and 4 kills. Staying in volleyball, it was Trinity Catholic over Danbury 3-2, with Trinity highlighted by Riley Griffin, 26 points, 5 aces, 7 kills, 1 blocked shot. Darien beats Staples 3-1. Darien stays so good as always. Izzy Taylor, 22 kills, 3 aces, 4 points, and 2 blocks. Ludlow over West Hill 3-0. Olivia Albenzine with 6 service points, 3 aces, and 28 assists. Finally, Trumbull over Wilton 3-1. Liv Borski had 10 kills, 12 digs, 9 service points, and 1 block. Few other notes for you from the weekend. Boys soccer, Central and New Canaan played to a 2-all tie with Franz Muhaj and Daigo Gardner scoring for Central. Ludlow over Greenwich 1-0. Ward beat St. Joe's 1-0. Norwalk over West Hill 3-0. Danbury 3, Ridgefield 0. In fact, that was a game we watched right out in front of our very own eyes on Friday. And what say you about football from over the weekend? Starting on Friday in the FCAC, it was Norwalk over Bridgeport Central 49-6. Trumbull beat Greenwich in a big game 28-23. Cardinals had a chance late, could not get the job done. Trinity Catholic beat Ridgefield in a game you saw right here on the HAN network 26-21. Darien took care of McMahon 42-10. St. Joe's 35, Wilton 0. Staples 35, Stamford 0. We look down at the SCC. It was Brantford over Sheehan 25-12. Now to Saturday games. Fairfield Ludlow knocked off West Hill 7-6. New Canaan all over Danbury 48-7. It was 42-0 early on. And Xavier beat NFA 18-6. As for the schedule this week, or today I should say, Ludlow at Danbury in boys soccer, Ridgefield at Trinity Catholic, Greenwich home for McMahon, Darien at Central, Stamford is at Trumbull, New Canaan at Wilton, Staples at Ward, and St. Joseph is at Norwalk. Field hockey, St. Joseph home for New Canaan, Ward at Simsbury, and McMahon at Staples. Girls volleyball, Trinity Catholic at Greenwich, Trumbull home for Central, St. Joseph at Darien, Stamford home for Wilton, West Hill at Ridgefield, Staples is at New Canaan, Ward at McMahon, Norwalk is at Ludlow. Finally, from swimming and diving, Wilton at Darien, and West Hill, Stamford is at Greenwich. And to Wednesday, we will go to Waveney Park in New Canaan as it is the first of the championships. Yes, believe it or not, we are heading into later October, and it is time to talk playoffs. Yes, playoffs. We will have the first match of, or the first championship go around for us in FCAC field, in cross country championship. That will be Wednesday at 2. We'll have it for you right here on the HAN network with the full broadcast schedule of all the playoff and championship games up at HAN.network. With sports, I'm Rob Adams. Let's send it back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Rob. Well, getting back to some of today's news. Average retail gas prices in Connecticut have fallen 2.3 cents per gallon in the past week, averaging now $2.32 per gallon on Sunday. That, according to Gas Buddy's daily survey of more than 1,500 gas outlets in the state. This compares with the national average that has fallen 5.4 cents per gallon in the last week to $2.26 per gallon. Including the change in gas prices in Connecticut during the past week, prices yesterday were $1.10 per gallon lower than the same day 1 year ago and are 13.4 cents per gallon lower than a month ago. The national average has decreased 3.7 cents per gallon during the last month and stands 84.5 cents per gallon lower than this time last year. Gonna throw it over to Rob Adams now for another look at today's weather. Rob?
All right, Kate, thanks once again. We've got a sunny day, a high near 50, I promise. That is this forecast. Partly cloudy, low 37 for tonight. Partly sunny, high 63 for Tuesday. Mostly cloudy, low 44 for Tuesday night. Partly sunny, a high near 68 for Wednesday for that cross-country meet, the FCAC Championship. And you know, you wonder, do they like running in those kinds of conditions? I would think so, but you might want it a little bit chillier. We'll see how the runners feel about it on Wednesday. Mostly cloudy, low 49 for Wednesday night. Sunny and 66 for Thursday, partly cloudy, 44 for Thursday night. Sunny and 55 for Friday. We go back up to 60 on Saturday. I love it. I wasn't loving that 35 and snow yesterday that I was at least mowing the lawn in. Shelton has 38. Ridgefield has 37. Darien has a balmy 43 degrees, Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Rob. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with a lot more news. And as we said later in the show, Deborah Greenwood of the Center for Family Justice will be joining us later on. That and a lot more coming up on your coffee break after this.
Here at the Darien Sports Shop, we are very excited about our newly redesigned men's department. Gentlemen, if you're shopping for work, weekend, or wedding, we've got the latest styles and trends inside our spacious new department just for you. We have vast selections from Peter Millar, Vineyard Vines, Johnny O, Duckhead, Barber, and so much more. And you can even walk out of the store in the new Wolverine 1,000-mile men's boot. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut, or shop us online at dariensport.com.
Do you do a lot of running around but get nowhere when you're buying a car? Visit Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram for the one-stop buying experience and stop spinning your wheels.
While the temperatures are cooling down, the fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait that are abundant in the Long Island Sound. If you love the New England coast during autumn, this is the time to be on the water. The latest from Shimano, Quantum, Avet, Hoagie, Phase 2 and more are in stock and ready to go at the dock shop. And don't mind those fall breezes with jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece from Grundens and Stormer. The dock shop will keep you warm and dry. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com. Alliance.
And we're back on this Monday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski bringing you today's news, including that the newest Chipotle location located on Bridgeport Avenue in Shelton is not yet open, but many are anxiously awaiting. A lot of people were seen peeking in because of the movement of workers inside the restaurant, lights on, and the outside seating that was recently put in place. But the official opening for Shelton's first Chipotle is set for Sunday, October 25th at 11 a.m. In Stratford, an 11-year-old girl was honored by law enforcement officials last Thursday for her stick figure drawing that led police to nab an alleged burglar in her neighborhood. Rebecca DePietro sketched the suspect for police, who visited her family's home to investigate a streak of burglaries. They asked if anyone at the DePietro house had seen anything suspicious. The little girl told NBC Connecticut, "I can draw a picture of him." She said, "It wasn't like the best picture. It was just a head and some legs, and I thought, oh, he's probably just going to crumple it up and throw it away." However, police did not throw it away, but with a little detective work, detectives say the sketch helped them nab a man who confessed to 10 burglaries in the area, including one at the DePietro home. So congratulations to her. Well, a mile and a half of twists, turns, and taxing dead ends is back at the corn maze at Trumbull's Plasko's farm. The public is invited to defeat the Dragon, a curvy, challenging design carved out of 4 acres of 10-foot-tall corn stalks for Halloween weekend, October 30th to the 31st. The maze will be open for flashlight nights from 5 to 9 at night For every trip through the corn maze this year, the Plasko family will donate $1 of the admission price to St. Vincent's Swim Across the Sound cancer support, prevention, education, and screening programs. The corn maze at Plasko's farm is believed to be the first of its kind in Fairfield County and attracts more than 10,000 visitors each year. The farm also offers a country store, bakery, and hay rides throughout the fall season. Plasko's Maze is now open through Sunday, November 8th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily, with the last tickets of the day sold 30 minutes before dusk. Visitors should allow 30 to 45 minutes in the maze. If guests get lost, there are corn cops stationed at strategic points throughout the maze to help navigate the way out. General admission is $8 for adults, $6 for children ages 4 to 10, and children 3 and under are free. There's a lot more information on that event at TrumbleTimes.com. And finally, it's an eternal question that will finally get an answer. Who has the best chili and wings in Monroe? The Monroe and Newtown Chambers of Commerce will present the first chili cook-off and wing fling on Thursday, November 5th at the Waterview in Monroe from 6 to 9 in the evening. The event is an expansion of last year's successful Newtown Chili Cook-Off. Those attending the event will be able to sample fare from a number of contenders. You can get the whole list at monroecourier.com. Well, we're going to wrap up this news segment of your coffee break, and we're going to come back with a special guest, Deborah Greenwood of the Center for Family Justice. It is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we're going to be talking about that and a lot more coming up on your coffee break after this.
It's time to come back to hometown banking, where people are taken into account, not just balances, where community comes first, a place where there's more than one kind of interest, where automation will never replace consideration, where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
Back to school means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Tired of all the bull? Relax and enjoy the experience of buying a car at Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram. No bull allowed.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark Building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Darien Sport Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sport Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
The fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait in the Long Island Sound. This is the time to visit the New England coast, and the Dock Shop can get you outfitted with the latest fishing gear, jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece. Boater, beach bum, fishermen simply love the New England coast. This is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tocanique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
You are watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. 102,000 viewers have enjoyed the HAN Network in just the last 6 weeks. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
And we're back on this Monday edition of your Coffee Break. I'm Kate Czaplinski, and I'm joined now by Deborah Greenwood, who is the president and CEO of the Center for Family Justice. We're here talking about October, which is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Deb, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
And I know it's been a busy month for the Center for Family Justice. You organize a lot of events this month to raise awareness. Tell us a little bit about those.
Sure. Well, in October, besides every other month of the calendar year, we really focus on the awareness. So one of the pieces that we started a few years ago, which has really brought the awareness to each town that we serve in Eastern Fairfield County, are domestic violence vigils. During a vigil, we remember those who've lost their lives to a homicide due to domestic violence. So we've had 8 vigils. We have 2 left this week. One that will be held tomorrow night in Monroe at the Town Hall gazebo at 6 p.m. And it's free and open to the community. And we read the names of those who lost their lives, plus we get a lot of teens involved as well. And then Thursday night will be our last vigil in Fairfield at the gazebo, the Sherman Green gazebo on the Post Road in Fairfield. And we'll be doing the exact same thing.
That's great. Now, I imagine these vigils can get a little emotional. I mean, it's kind of a somber remembrance. I mean, I know that you guys, I believe, how do you honor those victims? What do you do other than read the names?
Besides reading the names, we talk about what someone can do that's in the audience, and we'll average anywhere from 40 individuals in smaller towns to over 100, as we saw last week at our Trumbull Vigil. And we talk about what you can do to understand that we have free and confidential services. We have a 24/7 hotline. We have counseling. We have suburban satellite offices in the towns of Trumbull, Monroe, Easton, and Stratford, and Trumbull as well, so that if someone doesn't want to come down to Bridgeport due to time restraints, they can utilize the satellite offices as well.
Now, Deb, we're often seeing domestic violence in the news in very tragic ways. I mean, recently we had a terrible murder in Shelton of a woman by her husband. And I mean, it's just something that we're seeing more and more. Are you guys seeing the trend? Are you getting the calls and hearing about these situations?
In many cases, what will happen, unfortunately, is, in particular, that one case, no one knew. The police department didn't know. An agency like ours, there are 17 other domestic violence agencies in Connecticut, and we're one of those 18. But when we don't know, or someone hasn't called to say, I think there might be a problem, we didn't even realize until it was too late. So what we'll do is safety planning with someone, and what we stress the most at a vigil or in any of our materials is when there's a separation, whether it's a divorce in that particular case, or somewhere, even with teen dating violence, when there's a breakup, that's when the idea of escalation of violence is at its worst. So trying to make sure people are safe and what they can do so that it doesn't turn into something like we saw in Shelton is where we really try to get out into the community.
Now, we hear all the time about how underreported domestic violence is. How do we change that? How do we make the victims more comfortable coming forward?
This is a wonderful opportunity. Actually, what we're doing this morning is trying to get out on the radio airwaves, on cable TV, in newsprint, to be able to say, here's the 24/7 hotline number. If you know someone, if you are that someone, whether there's a vigil in any one of our towns, Bridgeport, Monroe, Stratford, it crosses all boundaries, all socioeconomic levels. Just give us a call. We'll help you walk through it. We can't call the victim until they actually call us first. And that's the most frustrating piece. But when someone walks through the door for counseling or they call that hotline, that's when we go to work. That's when we encourage them to please come in, come talk to an advocate, which is one of the counselors, and be able to get that free and confidential support that they truly do need. If not for themselves, especially if they have children.
And now, is there anything legislatively that needs to change? Is there anything on the horizon that you see as, potentially being a benefit for people in these situations?
We've done a wonderful job in the state of Connecticut with changing laws over the last few years that I know I've been involved. And we work through the Connecticut Coalition Against Domestic Violence. We have one law that we weren't able to pass last year, and this one really has led to so many homicides, which is getting that restraining order, and if there are firearms and weapons in the household, getting those removed temporarily until that goes to court. So that's the next law on the horizon that we're hoping that we are going to be able to pass, because it's passed in several other states in the United States, and it's had a significant impact on bringing down the number of homicides. And we did have 14 this past year. One is too many, but 14 is definitely too many.
Now, Deb, other than domestic violence, I know the Center for Family Justice deals with a number of issues. What other services do you all provide?
We do. We're very excited about this January being able to cut a ribbon on one-stop services, all at our 753 Fairfield Avenue office. And what that means is bringing under one roof, we will have law enforcement, we will have free legal services. We have well over 24 non-for-profits that are experts in their field to help victims of abuse. Instead of going through this cycle 7 to 10 times, they'll be able to get the service they need immediately. The impact on the other justice centers in the United States has reduced homicides, it reduces costs in your community, and we also get the exploratory information on sexual assault cases. We had over 400 this past year. A lot have to do with college campus education that we're doing at Fairfield University, Sacred Heart, University of Bridgeport, and Housatonic. So we also do all of the sexual assault cases. We respond to the hospitals, and we do a lot with children that have disclosed that they've been sexually assaulted, and we had over 250 cases last year in our 6 towns. So we're a very large agency that really focuses in on domestic and sexual violence of all ages.
And I know education is so important, getting young people involved, and you guys are working with St. Joseph High School this week as part of domestic violence awareness, right?
We are. This is one of those really wonderful opportunities. One of our board members, Nancy Lassard, is a teacher at St. Joseph's, and our board members are great with ideas. And what's happening is we are bringing students from Caesar Battaglia School in Bridgeport, third graders, all due to some support we did receive through the Bridgeport Rotary Club, over to St. Joe's, and the students there are having a field day. So in addition to having fun and doing a lot of athletic components, they're also going to have their brain working, because they'll be read aloud stories. Each student will go home with a brand new book thanks to Scholastic, and they've donated all of their services. All the kids are doing this with the support of the principal at St. Joe's, and then at the end of the day there is going to be a powder puff game, and some of those proceeds will that are being raised will be going to the Center for Family Justice, so we can continue our prevention education in all of the public schools.
Oh, that's great. And how can people help you guys? What can they do? What kind of resources do you need to keep going?
Well, there's never enough money to do the type of work that we do, and we're getting into holiday time, and people will always ask, what can I do? I'd like to volunteer. As simple as gift cards that we use and give to clients that would like to purchase things for their children during the holidays. In addition to that, non-perishable food items, toiletries. They can call the center at any time and speak to our volunteer coordinator or any one of us to get involved. The need is so much greater than the amount of money that we are supported on. So we do lots of events, lots of fundraisers. So at the end of the day, I know people like to do collections and really help and support during holiday time. But we're busy 12 months out of the year. We are a 24/7 agency. So just calling us at the center would be great, and we can speak to someone about that.
Great, and you also have a website with a lot of information on there.
We
What's
do.
the web address there?
Our website is www.centerforfamilyjustice.org, or they could call the center at 203-334-6154.
That's great. And again, what's the 24-hour hotline that people can reach out to if they need help?
They can call the same number at 203-334-6154 after hours at 5 o'clock, and immediately rolls into the hotline.
Okay.
Or if they go on our website, they will see that as well. They can navigate that system. It's very easy to do. But they can call that one main number and get that help, even if it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Now, Deborah, what would you say to maybe one person that's watching right now that really needs the help, but they're scared?
And that's very common. As we talked about it being underreported, the hardest thing to do is to admit that you're in either a physical, emotional, verbal violence relationship. What they can do is just reach out to us. They can talk to someone on the hotline. They can walk in Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, at any one of our locations, primarily our Bridgeport location. If they want to use a suburban satellite office, we will immediately send an advocate to meet them. There is no cost. Everything they tell us is confidential. Please reach out. Please come and see us. And nothing will be lost, but we're there to help you. And victims should know that they did nothing to deserve being a victim. Victims like to blame themselves, and there's no excuse for abuse, as we've heard said before. So there really shouldn't be any opportunity for someone to not call. So please call if you're listening.
Thanks, Deb. That's an important message. Deborah Greenwood of the Center for Family Justice, thank you so much for the great work that you guys do.
Thank you for this opportunity. Hopefully someone that's listening will pick that phone up and call.
I hope so. All right, Deb, thank you so much. That's going to do it for this edition of Your Coffee Break. I'll be back tomorrow at 11. Have a great day, everyone.